going on, everybody? Mike McFarland here, the Lake Fork Guide, your host, McFarland Fishing, and the rundowns. It's Lake Fork rundown time. Today it is Tuesday the 11th, and I got a quick little rundown for you, just to kind of get you updated on what's happening with Lake Fork, all the Mickey Mouse up and down roller coaster ride that we've had in the last couple months. Lake level wise, I chose to keep last week's numbers, and this week's numbers are in green. And I think I'm going to kind of try to do that every other week so that I can really see contrast. But you can see that last week, we were at 403. A week ago today, we were at 403.69. Today, we're 403.44. But through the week last week, we can still see that we had that huge 9-inch rise, 7, 8, 9-inch rise. And then a massive drop to bring it right back down lower than it was a week ago. So in 1 week, we went up 9 inches and then came back down that same 9 inches lower than we were a week ago when we started. Today, 403.33. That's a lot of water movement, and that makes any fishing for any species of fish not impossible, but difficult. And so, with that being said, Lake Fork is still fishing funky, and so is any other lake that is doing the up and down, up and down. I'll elaborate before I tell you a little report on what's going on and about Skeeter Bend over the weekend. If a lake has a fill point on a dam, gates that can be controlled and opened, but an overspill, that is for backup, triple safety overspill, they call it, whatever, for maximum peak. Well, if they let a lake go to the maximum peak and have a natural overspill, whatever's coming in is going out. It's just current through the lake, not rising, falling, rising, falling, rising 9 inches and dropping 10 inches in 7 days. Okay, it just gets to its peak, and they have an overspill. Anything is coming in, so what's going out. I'm not a water guy. I'm not trying to critique their job. Trying to explain to you guys, the fishermen who are wondering, why is the lake so up and down? Why do they catch them, have one great day and then 2 terrible days? Or they're here one day and they're not there the next, or even later on in the day, they're no longer there. When the water's dropping, falling, when the gates are open, they're still unstable. And now that the spawn's over, they move around a lot. They're offshore, they're back up on shore, they're running edges of tree lines, grass lines, road beds. There's fish to be caught, trust me. Main lake points, look for brim spawn beds, top water, walking top waters, popping top waters, used in the right places right now are catching some fish. And the good thing is they're catching big fish. Temperatures are really cool, 76 to 80. I did see some I should bump this up, change it. I did see some mid-80s yesterday and this morning. 83. But that's the general range. Cool off a little bit at night and whatnot. And then the clarity's getting better. Everything's settled. The best part about this now is I'm assuming there's one gate open, and I'm assuming with the weather outlook that we do have, the next 10 days look really good. They should lock their gates up, and the lake's going to fish better. When it does that, we're going to be moving offshore. We're going to be fishing, back to that summer, pre-summer type spots. Long points, humps, ledges, shell beds, tree lines, shallow grass if you know where there is some. Especially, that the bouncing of early fishing shallow early, and then moving out deep later in the day. Now, I do want to go over a couple things, and then I got a few other things about fishing the lake that I'll share. Skeeter event. I want to go over the fish that were caught. I want to go over the giveaway, what they actually gave away, and then kind of elaborate on something with you. There was 1,700 anglers in this event. And I know people come from a long ways away. So most of these people, I'm going to give them a little extra credit, say they know how to fish reasonably, and they're they're committed, to say the least. Okay, and a lot of them are very good fishermen. We'll give them that. Okay, so out of 1,700 really good fishermen, there was only 5 overs caught in that Skeeter event total. No double digit. The overs were a 7.42 weighed in the first weigh-in, third or fourth weigh-in, an 8.27. The second day, there was an 8.14 weigh-in at daybreak, and then an 8.81 at the fourth hour, and a 7.66 at the fifth hour. Those are skinny, small, under the slot fish. So where are those big, huge teenage class slot fish? I'm sorry, not slot fish, over the slot fish. Bass and fork. We used to have them every year, just like other places are producing now. Oichadi, for example. So I just wanted to give you food for thought. 1,700 anglers, only 5 overs, a little disappointing. But listen, this is why. The water going up and down, going crazy, going all over the place. It's hit and miss. It's one day it's good, one day it's not. So, the winner was an 8.81 Bernard Gunn. Congratulations, Bernard Gunn. But here's the cool thing. A little skeeter event like that with minimum entry fee, and a fisherman gets to go home with a Skeeter FXR 21 Apex. An Apex. And that's the big one, the 250. 2024 Skeeter FXR Apex. That is way over $100,000 first giveaway from Skeeter, first of all, which is amazing. Wow. So glad to be just a little tiny ant in the mix of that, but part of Skeeter, with Skeeter, in a Skeeter boat myself. Love it. But they just gave away a $100,000 prize. So first of all, congratulations, Bernard. But that's amazing. It blows my mind. So, there's some pro circuit. Well, the elite anglers don't win any more than that. When they win an elite event, they win $100,000. So that Apex FXR is well worth over $100,000. All right, a couple more things I wanted to give you. If you're a tournament angler, if you're just needing to catch fish and you're not here for the big fish, which most people come here for the big bite. They just want to fish for the big fish. I would rather fish all week for the big bites and just have a couple big bites all week on big giant fish than to catch 100 1 and 2 pounders every day. But if you do just want to go catch fish, you're here for a vacation, whatever. You want to dedicate a few hours to big bass fishing, and then you just maybe need to catch something. Go to the shallow water about halfway back in any of the creeks, arms, mostly the pockets. Look for some vegetation. Look for some grass of any kind, any water vegetation. Lily pads if you can find some. You don't need much. And if you'll just wacky worm a little trick worm, okay, like sungill, green pumpkin with chartreuse tail, just a small one. This is basically the 7-inch zoom trick worm. Wacky worm it. There was a guy I ran into this morning that was using, believe it or not, methylate like we would back when they were spawning, and he killed them over the weekend. Small fish, pound, 2-pound class fish. Still fun. We don't come to Fork for that. Right now I like to stay offshore, and I really, sometimes I can get behind the wheel and I'll graph until I find fish. I won't fish until we find fish. That's the best part of June and July. The fish get in positions, they get in places offshore that you can actually find them before you fish for them. And that's when it gets pretty darn fun. And I don't mean forward imaging. I mean find them. Find them with the sonar, side scan, down scan, set up, and then cast to them and catch them. I love doing that. If you want more information about that bite that's on the lake right now, there's a great bite on the lake. It's up and down as the unstableness has been. But that offshore bite, when it locks, when things, we close gates and stabilize this bathtub, quit letting it out, you're going to see this offshore bite go off consistently. And as the heat, the water gets hotter and hotter, fish are going to eat more. So you want to learn more about the offshore bite. You want to learn more about the techniques, key locations, where to be fishing. You have 2 options. One is you can book a trip with me. Love to take you. I have a few openings left in June, but quite a bit in July. 602-826-1524. The second is you can join my members only channel here on YouTube. Just upgrade from free public to private members. It's $4.99 a month. And in the members only channel, I go into much more details. I give the goods. I give the juice, as they call it. I go into depth beyond the lake, beyond the basic fishing patterns that I tell you publicly. And we spill our guts. We some meat and potatoes. Exactly what we're doing, what not to be doing, what worked, what didn't work. We tell the truth. So check that out. Look in the description below this video. There's a link. It'll say members only. Click on that link. Follow the process. Love to have you. Other than that, hit the like button. Comment below. Share anything you have to share if you'd like to. I'd love to say hi. Love to take you fishing. Hit me up and we'll get you on the water. Show you some of these really cool things that are happening on the world famous Lake Fork. I'm Mike McFarland, the Lake Fork Guide.